Welcome everybody to another video of Vinyl Addict. This is Chili, and I'm going to list off my 100 favorite albums from English acts. Okay, so this is going to be 7 videos, and the first 6 will be each video will have 15 albums, and then the last 7th video will be the top 10. Now, the criteria of this is that each artist that I pick, I'm only going to pick one album from that artist, so it's just 100, not the greatest albums of, English bands or whatever, and then, these slots are always dominated by so many albums by the same artist. Like in the top 10, you see these kinds of things before on VH1, well, where like out of the top 10, it's like 8 of them are the Beatles, and that kind of gets boring. And so I just want to choose like one album, and it didn't really have to be like the most popular or the best or whatever. It's just one that I like. I mean, I was talking to somebody today. I'll use this as an example. About the Doors, and we were at a record store, and the guy was looking at the Doors. I'm like, yeah, well, I like, my favorite album from the Doors is like, the later stuff, like Morrison Hotel, or even Soft Parade. And they're like, oh, that's good. It's just like there's no bad Doors, but so based on that, I mean, that album of the Doors may not be better than the consensus of their more popular albums, like the first album, and so the ranking will be a lot different. So before I get into this though, don't forget to hit the like button, comment on this video, share this video, and if you still haven't, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can receive updates. Okay, so with that out of the way, okay, so this video of the first 15 is I'm gonna just go through different years, different genres. Okay, so you're gonna have 90s, 80s, 70s, what have you, 60s even, and so gonna go through different kinds of music as well. Okay, and we're gonna start now with this Spaceman 3, which is a psychedelic album that came out in 1990. And now this is the last album from this group. They broke up before this came out. Now what's so unique about this album is that, I'd like to show some of these to you as well. Now there's a little story behind this album. The two guys that are in here, Peter Kember and Jason Pierce, they each have a side. They did not get along with each other. And so Peter's side is more happy, and Jason's side is depressing. So you have songs like on Peter's side, the happy side, Just to See You Smile, and I Love You, and then Jason's side is I Feel Sad, Feeling Just feeling just fine, head full of shit. So that's I thought was a really unique concept. That, one guy would do one side and the other guy would do the other, and one guy's side is happy. So if you're feeling happy, you put the happy side on. If you're feeling like angry or whatever, or depressed, then you put on Jason's side. So there's Spaceman 3. Now 99, we have Chemical Brothers. Okay, so this is a time when all that kind of electronica was kind of still popular, with Prodigy and those types of bands, and Crystal Method, and these guys from England. There's really nothing special about this vinyl, but the label looks cool. The Chemical Brothers. And this is the song that was famous on here is Hey Girls, Hey Boys, Superstar DJs. That's Here We Go, Surrender, Let Forever Be. And that has Oasis's No Gallagher on this. So Really cool. Chemical Brothers, 99. 98. Pop New Wave, 1980. The Vapors. Okay, Turning Japanese was the big hit. Contrary to popular belief, the song is not about masturbation, which David Fenton, the lead singer, explained. This band is, he actually said that, you know, a lot of the stuff on here, News at 10 is the other single on here and everything. It was more political, you know, so, yeah, so Turning Japanese is not that, but the Vapors, cool band. Yeah. So now we're reaching number 97, and this is like new stuff. What's going on today too, and you know, this came out in 2014, and this is a duo, a rock duo, and Royal Blood. I mean, here on the hype sticker it says primal, gigantic, loud as cannons. That's New Musical Express. Yeah, this band, they pretty much. You know, the cool thing about England is that they always kind of reinvent the riff, you know, and they just come back and this band came really hard with it, Out of the Black. What else is on here? The whole album is great, but Little Monsters, the tracks on here, the singles are good, but the whole album in general, it's a 10 songs from beginning to end. They're really short, 2-3 minute songs, you know, it's like AC/DC length. And kind of White Stripe-ish, but you know, there's a lot more going on with this too, you know. So Mike Kerr and Ben Thatcher, that's what makes this band Royal Blood. All right, so now we go into glam rock and we go into The Sweet. Now this is 1974's album Desolation Boulevard. Okay, so this is their third album, and I'll show you some of the stuff in here. Now, this is Hollywood Boulevard back in the 70s. Okay, and so this little place right here, this club is called Filthy McNasty's, which is now known as the Viper Room. So this is Hollywood Boulevard in the 70s, and so early 70s. And the song on here was the Fox on the Run song. This is a nice reissue. And they put this on the label and the other side. So The Sweet, we got glam rock. Okay, some real glam rock coming in. And this is at 96. Okay, so 95. This band calls themselves techno pop punk rock. And this is 96, and the band is called Republica. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember this, but they had this song called Ready to Go. This is music on vinyl pressing number 552. They're numbered. And this one is a nice blue. Lead singer Saffron is the one, she calls her music that, techno pop punk. And really good music here, really different actually. They really utilize the electronic sounds and the riff, the groove riff and everything, and so very unique sound. And I like music on vinyl. They always really take special care in presenting and packaging the albums that they put out. And there they are. So this is 1996. Okay, and so we go from that back to the 80s, back to the future, right? So we're just hopping around here. And then we get to Mr. Thomas Dolby. Okay, this was a really big, he had a really big single in America. All right, so it was, this pressing was made in Canada. BMG, She Blinded Me with Science. And this is a blue splatter. That. Yeah, so the golden age of wireless. Really cool. I'm going to try to get through these, but try to say a little something about them. So we go back to 1970, I believe, 74 on this one, and this is the band Ace. Okay, if you don't remember, this is the band that introduced us to Paul Carrack, and this is the song How Long Has This Been Going On? So the song is How Long, and this is the first time we get to hear that smooth vocal from Paul Carrack, and then we later hear him again in Squeeze with Tempted, and we'd hear him in Mike and the Mechanics, All I Need Is a Miracle. This guy, I just love the way he sings. He's got a smooth voice. Yeah, this is Anchor 5A side Ace. Interesting. But yes, great song. And so this is my favorite album from Ace. Now we're going back in time, and this is a white vinyl of Dave Clark 5's Glad All Over. Okay, this is the song that knocked I Want to Hold Your Hand off of #1. This is the first band to knock the Beatles out. And this also has the song, Do You Love Me? Yes. And so it's a nice white vinyl. All the classics are being reissued, which is cool. I have a mixture of both. Now I did a video on this yesterday, and I just figured I'm just going to keep this one out. This is Wire. 1977, punk rock, not the Pistols, not the Clash, not the Damned, but Wire. And so check this band out. This is a great album. This is punk rock, England. Now we go from punk to the new wave of British metal, heavy metal, and we have Saxon. Okay, so this is the Denim and Leather album. No, Wheels of Steel. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to take, Denim and Leather or Wheels of Steel or Strong Arm or the Law. I wanted one of those albums, and I just, you know what? It doesn't matter. But this one is really cool. It has a swirl kind of this is the 2018 pressing. So Saxon makes it to my 100 list. Of course they gotta be on there. You gotta have these bands that just, set the stage for a lot of things. Without them, you wouldn't have your Metallica band because, Lars was a big fan of them. Now, these last four are bands and that are bass or artists that are just guitar based, and so the first one being Fastway. Okay, so this is when you get Motorhead's Fast Eddie Clarke and Pete Way from UFO, and you put them together, you have Fastway. Now both of them were in different bands. Okay, you had Motorhead and UFO, and they weren't really happy with what they were going on, and so with those other bands, and so they started their own. They also recruited Jerry Shirley on drums, and he's from Humble Pie. So a lot of people in here in this band, and then they got David King on vocals, and for the bass, because Pete Way didn't even record on here, he just left and he joined. He had a call from Ozzy to go play with him, so he took off. And so this is 1983, this album, and so they got the bass player from The Fix, Alfie. Okay, so to join them on their tour. So, it's interesting how all these different bands and these players get together and just, make music together from different spectrums, whether from, a thrash kind of pioneering band like Motorhead, and then you got a band like The Fix, or Humble Pie, very blues band, and then here they are. And the cool thing about this is that you do hear Fast Eddie Clarke playing heavy rock, blues rock, kind of Zeppelin-esque, even Bad Company kind of sounding, and acoustic stuff. He does an acoustic intro on Another Day. So just hearing a different side of Fast Eddie Clarke, because we're just so used to him playing the stuff that he kind of pioneered with the Motorhead, and so here playing kind of bluesy heavy rock is really cool, and his leads of course are amazing. And so Fastway, that made it. Okay, of course they're gonna make it. And so number 88, we have another guitar legend, Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols, and this is 1990, and kind of grew his hair out and got an SG. No, not an SG. He got a Les Paul. Yeah, there he goes. Right? And he recruited Ian Ashbury of the Cult, who produced this, and Billy Duffy of the Cult's on here too. They're big fans. A lot of these bands in the UK who came out in the 80s, were in the audience watching the Pistols when they were like teenagers and whatnot. So that's Ian and Billy giving back and just going, hey, let's make, make an album, And Freedom Fighter is great. We're Not Saints. This whole album, Fire and Gasoline, Did You Know Wrong? Very muscle-bound rock, straightforward rock, and especially Ian writing some of the songs, and Axl Rose is on one of these songs as well. Yeah, Axl Rose. Is there anybody else on here? Yeah, he's on Did You Know Wrong? And the guitar solo on Get Ready is Billy Duffy from the Cult. So yes, there's that family there, and they're English as well, right? And another guitar player. Okay, and speaking, this goes with Steve Jones, because we got Andy Taylor here, and this is produced by Andy Taylor and Steve Jones, right? So he's a Duran Duran. Andy Taylor's another Steve Jones disciple, so there's Steve Jones. Right, so this is after the whole Duran Duran thing and after Power Station, and so this is his solo album, and the song "I Might Lie" is the one that's the lead-in single, and this is a great album, great rock albums. It's not Andy Taylor, what you know of him, of Duran Duran. That's all I gotta say. It's more of the Andy Taylor we saw on the Power Station, like when he's doing the T-Rex song, Bang a Gong, and just shredding on the guitar. This is what that is. So here he is, Andy Taylor, rock and roll. And so it brings us to the last guitar god, and this is number 86. So this is the first 15. We're wrapping it up here, and we're wrapping it up with Jeff Beck's first album, Truth. Now, this one was I didn't know if I really like this one in Beckola, but I guess we're just gonna do this one. This one had a lot of guests on it. John Paul Jones is on here from Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, Keith Moon from The Who's on here, and then of course vocals is Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood on bass, which they would leave and become, of course, the Faces. But yeah, the other guys, they're just kind of guests. There'll be a guest spot on one song or whatnot, like Jimmy Page or John Paul Jones. But you also have Nicky Hopkins, who would be on there. His next album, Beckola, but he would also be in the Stones on the live tours and some of their albums like Goathead Soup. But this has Shape of Things on here, You Shook Me, Green Sleeves, and I Ain't Superstitious is great. This is Psychedelic, beginnings of heavy rock, and Jeff Beck. Of course, you had to have him here. and that is my first 15 of English artists and their album, my favorite albums from them. So leave me a comment below on what was your take on these first 15, and then I'll be back with the next 15. And with that, I'll shut up and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.